Hello, all C-Rank recruits. Welcome to the World Trigger Podcast. I'm super talented Elite Agent Matt M, and I'm currently reporting in with Branch Director Annaliese Christman, the official letterer.
Hello.
The official letterer for World Trigger. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So, what other manga series do you do for Shonen Jump?
Currently, just for Shonen Jump, just for the weekly magazine.
Mm-hmm.
I do Black Clover and Robot X Laser Beam.
Okay. Aren't you part of the team that also does Astrolust in Space?
That's true.
Okay. So, I'm kind of curious. What actually got you started as a letterer for World Trigger?
For World Trigger, it was actually a lot of luck. I had just finished work on a series called Takamangahara.
Mm-hmm.
And that ended, unfortunately, at 17 or 18 chapters, and I didn't have anything to kind of fill that slot in my work schedule. And then the original editor for the series, Hope Donovan, was like, "Hey, you wanna work on this new one we're gonna start? It's called Trigger World." And I was like, "Sure, I'll start on this Trigger World series." And she had some initial sketches and stuff, and we were looking at it, and I'm like, "This looks kind of cool, okay." And then 2 weeks later, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's called World Trigger." It's like, that's a weird name. Somehow that's a lot weirder than Trigger World, but all right. And I've worked on it ever since.
Yep. And how long did it take you guys to truly get behind it? I know for Chris and the guys at Weekly Manga Recap, it took them about 20 some odd chapters. How about you guys?
I can't speak for Hope, but I have a tendency when I start a series, it becomes one of my babies. Mm-hmm. So I automatically kind of like it, and I'm already, putting my love and weight behind it. But the point where I knew I could never give up the series was, I don't remember exactly what volume it is, but it's where Cosma and Osamu are having their matches.
Okay.
And Osamu finds out that Jin has given up Fujin, and he's like, "Okay, just one more match." And I was just like, this boy is the greatest boy ever. So I enjoyed it before, and Hope and I we'd talk a lot about it when we'd send files back and forth. But at that moment, I was like, this is my favorite series. I love this series. This boy is the perfect boy. I even printed out the frame where he says please, let's go one more time, please, or something like that. I printed that out as big as I could. It took 6 or 8 sheets of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I printed it out, taped it all together, and I put it on my staircase. So whenever I went up the stairs, there'd be this giant frame of Osamu. And when I moved, it moved with me. And my husband was like, "Can we just not have that come with us?" No, Osamu come. So he's in one of the other rooms now. But.
Aww. Well, I guess that also kind of answers my other question of when you started really liking who I like to dub the Rudy of World Trigger.
Yeah. I mean, I liked him before, and he was my favorite character before, but that was definitely the tipping point when I was like, all right. And that's actually the moment, the chapter that the Osamu fan club was started. Because I took a picture of this giant manga frame that I put on my wall, and I sent it to Hope, and I said, "It looks like I'm the president of the super creepy Osamu fan club." And she doodled out the logo for the club. And I was like, Hope, I have to make these. I have to make this an actual club, and I have to make actual club cards, and that's how that happened.
Awesome.
Amusingly, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
Oh no, I don't have much. I'm really don't have much questions. I'm just kind of letting you go on right now.
letting me ramble about my boy. But amusingly, like I made 3 fan club cards, just like really quick, really basic, very ugly slap together cards. And I gave one to Hope, and I had one, and then I had one extra, and John Bay from Weekly Shonen Jump took one. And I was like, okay, we are members 1, 2, and 3. And like the next, maybe 2 weeks after that, Alexei Kirsch, another editor, was going to Japan, and he was going to interview a couple creators, including Ashihara Sensei. So he told me, you better get off your butt and make a real card so we can make Ashihara Sensei a member of the club. And so I did, and that's why we have real club cards. I rushed to get those, and now Ashihara Sensei is member 0. And his first editor, Hattori-san, is number 4. Which he's upset that he's number 4 and not number 1. But sorry, buddy, I'm number 1.
Well, it makes sense the person who founds the club be number 1. So, okay, I gotta ask, because I actually did use the Osamu fan club as part of one of my panels at ColossalCon this past, or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah!
Was there any influx of members requests or anything like that?
I got a couple people asking, and then they never like followed up. If you're listening and want to join, all you have to do is message me on Twitter at Kaito Ace. That's KITOU _ACE, and like just let me know you want to join. All I need is your physical mailing address, and I think some people just aren't comfortable with me knowing their mailing address. I'm not gonna come stalk you or anything, I swear.
Yeah, well, we post the actual cards that we get on like the official World Trigger page. We just started our own World Trigger podcast page on Facebook.
Oh.
So if you don't feel comfortable with that, we do get physical cards. It does actually happen, guys. There's no real scam or anything like that.
I'm not. Well, I am a creeper, but I'm not a creeper to club members. I'm just a creeper to Osamu.
Yeah, doesn't Osamu...
That sounds really bad.
I think Osamu might get a restraining order against you if it was real.
He might. Oh man, I keep seeing this weird girl in the bushes. Don't mind me. Oh god.
And it's really weird because she keeps making the duck face while I'm walking to school.
Doesn't she have like a job or something? My job is watching you. Oh Jesus.
No, I'm sure there's plenty of people who would probably get. Well, I was gonna say they probably have a bit of a restraining order line for Konami, but she probably just kicked their sorry cans from here to the middle of next week.
She probably would.
So speaking of that, because I know she was like the second most popular character in the most recent popularity pool. Outside of Osamu, who's your favorite character?
Oof. You know, I switch all the time. For a long time, it was Arashiyama.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Arashiyama. I even cosplayed him a few years ago. And then it changed. I really liked Satori from Arashiyama Squad. And I liked Togieda from Arashiyama Squad because Arashiyama Squad's just really great. Mm-hmm. And then it was Kazuma, and then it was Hughes, then it was High Rain, and I mean Ikoma's really. I don't have a real answer. I love so many characters. I love almost all characters. There are only 2 I don't like.
And if I remember correctly, Miwa is one of them.
Miwa used to be one. Good memory. I used to really, really hate Miwa, and then he got better.
Yeah, he got better. Like a lot of people would say, Sakura got better in Naruto.
Oh my god. Uh, what they, I mean,
Oh man.
yeah, he got better enough, but it's Ninomiya
Mm-hmm.
and Katori.
Katori, yeah, everyone. I don't think anybody actually really likes Katori.
She's just such.
She
She's an
wasn't.
awful person.
She wasn't even the star of her own flashback chapter.
Seriously, everybody I like everybody else in her squad. I think they're cool. I think oh god, what's her name? Some, her buddy is super awesome. But Katori is awful. Like I really hope her characterization is one that like we'll see her grow into a better person. But
So I'm gonna ask this question. It might be a bit hypocritical for. I know you work on the manga, but do you actually watch the anime, or did you watch the anime?
I watched 8 episodes of the anime and then I rage quit.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like Renji said, one of our first episodes, he rage quit pretty early on too.
Yeah, he said he like quit at like episode 4 or something. Like I don't even remember what happened episode to episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember getting to 8 and being like, I just can't do this anymore. I can't do it. I was actually in Japan when they aired the first episode, and it aired at like 6:30 in the morning on like a Sunday, and I was traveling with my mom, and I'm like, mommy, wake up, I gotta watch this show, and she's like, okay, and I'm like, maybe like this is my baby series. You know, maybe she'll change her mind about anime or something when she sees how great this series is. And I watched the first episode. She's like, this is kind of trash. I'm like, oh, it's not a great adaptation.
No, I'd argue. I almost want to argue that got. It almost felt like it got sidelined, if that makes sense. Because you have the potential for such amazing battles with this series. You have such a unique and interesting concept behind it. But I don't think they were willing to throw the budget behind it that they would for any other big series. But then again, even because I know Toei does the animation, and for what reason or another, even their big series like One Piece and Dragon Ball get kind of shortchange animation at times too. So I don't know what their deal is.
Yeah, I don't know. I found the anime disappointing. I thought the animation was kind of lower quality. The CG is not good, and the pacing seems really stuttering sometimes.
I was kind of like tracking it with the episode guides, and it's surprisingly like net breaking fast. I think it's like each episode of the anime covers like 2 to 4 chapters of the manga in one sitting, and I'm just like, wow, yikes, this is a little too fast paced.
The pacing. I couldn't do it. I think the straw that broke the camel's back for me was there was a scene and Osamu was talking, and they hadn't colored in his mouth right. So, like, the pink of his mouth was, like, draining out the side of his face.
I haven't seen that in our watch through yet, so I don't know.
I mean, I could have imagined. I should try to find. I know I took a screenshot of it or something, because I was like, is this really happening? I can't do this. Though, I will say, the voice cast they had was amazing. I thought all of the voices I heard were like spot on what I thought the characters would sound like, and I really liked I don't know if there are more than 2 openings, but I really liked the 2 openings I heard. I thought the songs were really cool.
There are 2 openings, but they're so weird with the openings too, which really bugs me. Because, like, I think about episode 8, they started, like, being, like, the eye catcher instead of just the opening.
Oh, so they put it, like, way late in the series?
Yeah, I was tracking it. I think, like, the latest I think it got, like, was, like, 12 minutes or something like that. And
What?
I know, that's what I was like. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Oh, my gosh. Why would they do that?
I don't know. I don't have any idea. I kind of stopped tracking it because I'm just like, well, this is getting ridiculous. But I showed Chris this the other day, and they have an they have a beach episode, and that doesn't happen in the manga. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And I remember my first watch through, and this is like, what in the world? And then there's this like neighbor princess that falls for Osamu, and I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, and her bodyguard gets jealous and puts like a weird like X-Men neck collar bomb on Chica.
What?
Yeah, it's just really weird.
That's weird.
Yeah. I have no idea why they did that, but like showing Chris and God, there's so many things that just went wrong with that. I don't know if it's like a special. I don't remember if it was like a try-on body thing they were doing, or if it was their actual bodies, or I think I'm gonna need to call you guys up and for when we get to those episodes of the filler to call and have you guys watch them with us.
So we can have that shock and what the hell?
Yeah, just like the sheer insanity of it all.
Oh man. I will say this for the anime. Because of the anime, so many World Trigger goods came out.
I have yet to find any in conventions I went to.
Yeah, they're not that common here. Like I just went to a convention a couple weeks ago, and they had a couple things. Well, no, they had the same thing at a couple different booths. But it was like super, like it was like 3 times more than the original price. So it's a little bit like, come on, guys, come on.
Seriously, because you're on the West Coast, right?
Yep.
Okay, because that might also help it. Because I'm almost on the East Coast. Like I'm in Ohio.
Okay.
And our big convention here is Colossal Con, and I did not see a thing of World Trigger. Nothing in the Artist Alley, nothing in the flea market, nothing in the vendors hall. Nothing.
Oof.
Yeah, and
come on, guys, we're not that unpopular.
Well, that's the thing. World Trigger is the 20th most popular manga in terms of sales, from what I could tell from the last sales numbers.
Yeah, but that was probably in Japan, right?
It might have been, but I've gone to the bookstores around here, like looking for the first volume just so I could kind of reread it.
Huh?
I can't find it anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's so weird. I go to Barnes and Noble out here, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have that." I'm like, "Okay, well that's a little weird." Then I go to another bookstore. They're like, "Yeah, we have like volume 14, but we don't have
Volume 1.
Yeah, we don't have volume 1." I'm like, "Well, when are you getting volume 1?" Well, as soon as our distribution center gets back to us on that.
Ugh.
Just like, well, that doesn't help me because I want it now.
Yeah, seriously.
I've given you guys such good business before. I've talked people into buying other manga.
Come on, just do this one thing for me, man. Do this one thing for me.
I just need this one thing. Come on, just this one thing. And nothing. It's just it frustrates me. I can't even find it at half-price books.
Oh man, serious?
Yeah, seriously.
That makes me so sad.
I almost want to say it might actually be a good thing because that means the fans are keeping it.
That's true. That's a good way of putting it.
It's an optimistic way of putting it.
I'll take it.
But yeah. So do you happen to have any news from Ashihara Sensei?
The latest news, and this did its rounds on Twitter a couple months ago. I think as of April 18th, we know he's alive.
Okay.
Which I know it's not much, but he drew a picture for a curry restaurant in Akihabara, I believe, that has some dishes that are World Trigger themed. So he drew a picture of Ikoma eating curry for them. So we know he's alive. But I have no secret insider info if World Trigger is coming back. I will say, so last year I was collecting letters and art and stuff like that for a care package for Ashihara Sensei.
Mm-hmm.
And I delivered it to the Shueisha offices, to the Jump offices. And when I handed it off, they're like, oh, this is really cool. But then they're like, oh, Zonin, which is kind of like, oh, how unfortunate. Like, people would, like, the guy I handed it off to was holding it. People were like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's for Ashihara. Oh, Zonin. Like, oh, how unfortunate. I was like, no, don't tell me it's unfortunate because you make it seem like it's never going to come back. We all want it to come back.
We don't want it to be the next Berserk.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, goodness.
Although I think Hunter x Hunter took that first.
Ugh. Hunter x Hunter.
Ugh.
Yeah, come on, Ashihara. I mean, we all want you to get better. Get better first, but then please come back to us. We're all waiting for you.
Look, I'll admit right now, I'm currently working on a deal with a genie from Dragon Ball to transfer sensu beans into our reality, so I can send it in the care package to Ashihara next. But there are a few things that are cosmically evil that he wants me to try and accomplish, and
Oof.
I'm not really allowed to say any more. Otherwise, he will come to life and beat me. I'm also. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, then yeah, that's the dangerous thing to do.
Well, it's either that or I find a way to access the world of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and get Pearl Jam. The problem is I don't have any cooking skills.
Well, come on, just reread a bunch of Food Wars.
I have those available for me right now. But if I have the ability to jump universes, why wouldn't I just jump to Food Wars and learn how to cook from them in person?
That's a good point.
Or better yet, I would just hop into the world of World Trigger, steal a trigger, bring it back to Ashihara and tell him to use it, so that way he doesn't have to worry about his body being damaged.
Oh, that would be, I think that's the ultimate solution there.
The ultimate solution is to get Ashihara back to 100% health so we don't have to worry about that.
Yes. One thing I've been so pleased with, when I was putting together the care package, this is the second one that has been sent to him. We sent him a box a couple years back that was just like, hey, we all love your stuff. Here's, some fan art and some fan letters and stuff. And then this one, when we started collecting stuff for it, it was just a kind of, hey, here's a bunch of fans from around the world that we all just kind of want to put our stuff together and, hand it off. But then, as it was being put together, that's when he went on hiatus. What? Sorry, I got a message from somebody.
Is it
and
Ashihara
now I just
back?
lost my train of thought. Thanks, buddy, in this other chat. Oh no, I remember now. I'm sorry. Yeah, so So I had all these letters and fan art and stuff for the care package to begin with. But as soon as he went on hiatus, people would send in a secondary letter saying, we really want you to get better. Don't worry, we can wait for you. Don't, we'll wait until you're 100%. And they all said that. Everybody said, we will wait for you, Ashihara. Don't rush. Get back to 100%. We'll be here waiting. Just take your time. I was like, oh, World Trigger fans, you're the best.
Yeah, we'll just deal with the anime. If we need a fix, we'll just rewatch the filler episodes with the poolside stuff again.
I actually had a friend. I do remember a little bit about that arc just because I had a friend who was like, hey, someone's shirtless in this arc. And I was like, what, girl? Tell me more. And so she'd send me like screen caps and tell me like, oh yeah, look, and he's running at this point and now he's getting injured. And I was like, oh no, but he still doesn't have a shirt on. Like, I don't remember exactly how it went, of course, but yeah, that's what I know. He loses his shirt at some point.
Oh, like I said, when we get to that point, I think I'll invite both of you guys on to join us. I'll give you the episode list.
All right, sounds good.
So I'm trying to think because we know World Trigger is probably your favorite series to work on.
Yes.
What can you tell us about other series that you work
on? What would you like to know about them?
Well, let's start with what's your second favorite series to work on. Because as of right now, that is your current favorite because World Trigger isn't around.
Yeah.
Tier.
I think maybe Black Clover is my favorite when I do the weekly chapters.
Okay.
Because I've been working on Black Clover now for just over 2 years. Almost 2.5 years now. And I have the feel of the series down, so it doesn't take a lot of effort to letter it, and so it's pretty easy. And I really like the series. I think it's really kind of just basic pure shonen. Mm-hmm. So it's not a lot to think about, I guess. That makes it sound kind of bad, I guess. But it's just this pure shonen energy, and it's fun and easy. But when I do.
I get it because there are some times where you want a filet mignon from a very upscale steakhouse, and sometimes you just want a Big Mac from McDonald's. Yes,
exactly. But when I do the graphic novel, so when I replace all the sound effects, I don't like working on it because there are a lot of sound effects in Black Clover, and it takes a long time. But I mean, overall, I don't know which is my favorite.
Well, don't be mad. I just sent you a picture of probably the only Black Clover cosplayer I saw at Colossal Con.
What?
Someone actually did Asta.
Oh my gosh! That's so awesome!
Yeah. This was probably the first year at this year of convention going that I wasn't able to cosplay. We had a bit of a group breakdown and nobody knew what they wanted to do, so they just said forget costumes this year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that's alright. I'm not going with that group again, so next year I'm going as Ikoma.
Nice! Yes! Good choice.
And I'm just gonna have a sign around my neck saying, "Can somebody tell me where I can get eggplant curry?"
Very nice. Oh, that's awesome.
So
yeah, Black Clover is for weeklies it's Black Clover. But yeah, overall maybe and I this is a little cheating because I just finished it actually. Goodnight Poon Poon is a seinen series, so it's for older audiences, and it's really, really dark, and it's really emotionally draining to work on, but the style of it is really neat, and I really liked, I had to replace a lot of signs on buildings and stuff, and so it was just, it was different than most of the other series, so I really did enjoy working on that one.
Okay, so that actually probably was a good thing although we're almost a half hour into this conversation. Uh, can you tell us a little bit of what you actually do as the official letterer? Just kind of,
Sure.
just
So,
kind of, go ahead.
basically, as a letterer in general, my job is to replace all the Japanese sound effects and the Japanese text with the English equivalents. Whenever I tell people that, they're like, "Oh, so you're the translator?" No, I'm not the translator. The translator gives the editor a script. The editor edits the script and then sends me the script. So I get the Japanese pages and the English script, and then I put them together. For the weekly stuff, it's usually a really, really quick turnaround. I try, as soon as I get the script, I try to have the first version of the lettered chapter done in about 2 hours.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, for the weekly Shonen Jump stuff, all we do is we put in the English dialogue, we subtitle the sound effects, and yeah, that's all for that. And then for the graphic novels, we'll go back and take out the subtitles from the sound effects and put in the actual English sound effects, replacing the Japanese ones.
And you also have to redraw any of the backgrounds that the sound effects cover up, correct?
Yes. There's a lot of redraw. My quote unquote official title is the letterer and touch up artist of the various series.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask this one. How exactly did you get into just in general being a letterer and touch-up artist?
So it was a lot of luck and yeah, mostly just luck. I knew from the time I got interested in manga that I really wanted to work in the industry, but I really wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. So when I was in college, I found out that Viz Media had internships. And so when I was a sophomore in college, I applied and somehow got the design internship for Viz Media. I really have absolutely no idea how I got that, because my portfolio kind of stunk, and every other intern that I've talked to is like crazy people, like crazy skilled people. So I just think that not a lot of people were applying that year, which is great for me because I got this internship. And among the jobs I had to do, it was mostly just like printing out stuff and making little like you know, in magazines you get that little like little postcard that's like subscribe, you know, send your money here, and it's I think they're called blow-in cards. This was back in the days when
yeah, I remember those. The mail inserts, basically.
Yeah. This was back in the days of physical Shonen Jump, so they put in these blow-in cards, and so I would have to, you know, change the information on them or put a new, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh card picture or whatever on them. And then one day they're like, "Hey, we're gonna put this special chapter of Naruto in some promotional material, but our letterer only did the black and white pages, whereas we're going to use the color pages from the magazine for this special promotional thing. We can't like ask the letterer to do it because they're too busy. So why don't you just do this?" And so I did like 3 pages of Naruto, and I was like, I feel really weird redrawing Kishimoto Sensei's work, but it gives me this terrible thrill. I was like, do people actually do this for a living? And people are like, yeah, you idiot, they do. I was like, wow, this is really cool. Can I do this for a living? And they're like, maybe, I guess, whatever. And so they had me take a test. Any letterer, any potential letterer takes a test of his, and it's like 4 or 5 pages from 4 or 5 different series, and they just see how you letter, like what your style's like, how it looks, how's your cleanup. And I guess they liked it well enough, because a couple months after my my internship ended, I got a job offer. Kind of. I do freelance. All my work is freelance, so I work from home. So my job offers are more, hey, do you want to work on this series? And of course it was, yes, I want to work on this series.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm no stranger to the temp internship stuff, so that sounds kind of similar, about the same time frame stuff.
Mm.
I'm trying to think, because I know I had other questions that I wanted to ask, but usually Renji's here, and something he says usually sparks my my memory about it. Let's see here. So, you're not limited to pretty much like one like genre. You're not like shonen or seinen or shoujo or whatever the shoujo equivalent of seinen is.
Yeah, I do basically anything that's thrown at me, as long as I have room in my schedule. And I really like doing a variety, because it gets tiring doing the same sort of series over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if I had a quote unquote specialty, it'd be shonen stuff, just because I work on more shonen stuff.
Well, they seem to have a cornerstone on the market anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But I work on a big variety. I really want at some point to kind of work in every sort of genre. So I've done kids series, I've done shonen series, I've done shoujo series, I've done seinen series. I haven't done any josei. That's the older shoujo. I haven't done any josei yet, but I hope for in the future. I'm working on one series actually called Children of the Whale, which I highly recommend. I think it comes out in the fall, maybe. It's a real pretty series, which may be considered josei. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so I've done all those. I really do want to work on a pure josei. I've worked on a lot of yaoi. I really want to do hentai and yuri, though, as well.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this one, and this is probably going to get me in trouble. I know you've gone over to Japan multiple times.
Yeah.
What is the quote-unquote greatest yaoi doujinshi you saw of World Trigger?
Ooh. Oh.
This is for our female fans, of course.
Oh, goodness. I have a lot of World Trigger doujin, but most of my World Trigger doujin is actually very clean.
What?
Yeah. It's I mean, there are plenty of R18, explicit books. But most of the ones I have are just cutesy, like, oh, I'm gonna hold your hand and we're gonna walk to school together and stuff like that.
You mean there's more easygoing doujin, like the Ruby and Sapphire doujin, dating a teen magma grunt?
Oh, I love that one. I love that one so much. But yeah, it's a lot of cutesy stuff. I'm trying to think of some good, real porny ones.
Oh God. Well, we know your favorite is the World Trigger to My Heart and Back Door, obviously.
Oh, of course. I'm waiting for the doujin version of that to come out.
I'm sure.
I guess perhaps some of the greatest porny ones I have. There's one artist that did a whole bunch of them, and it's the pairing called 19-year-old Sandwich, because it's Arashiyama and Jin and Osamu. So it's two 19-year-olds making a sandwich.
Oh my God.
It's quite a popular pairing.
Wait, this is another OT3 thing?
Yep.
Oh my God. Oh, sweet Christmas. Okay, what's the Yuri best one you've seen?
There's not a ton of Yuri ones. It's pretty lacking.
Really?
Yeah. I see. You would think, especially with like Nasu Squad, there'd be just good stuff out there.
I was thinking maybe, uh, Kitara and Konami. I thought those two would probably be
Oh, that would be good. In fact, I think the best one I have is very. It's not super porny, but it's Konami, Kitora, and oh goodness, what's the I feel bad. I'm gonna have to look this up.
It's not Osamu?
It's not. We're talking about Yuri. Come on, man.
Well, I figured this was another OT3 thing.
It is. Oh, it's Futaba and Kako from Kako Squad.
Okay.
No.
But
So it's the four of them, and that's the most Yuri-esque doujin I have, which is unfortunate. I want some. There's got to be some real good Nasu Squad out there. Just give it to me. I'm open to all pairings.
well, I'm trying to think of other things because I know. Okay, what's your favorite normal pairing, like guy and girl? Renji, you there?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
This is A-Rank Agent
Awesome,
Renji. He's with us. He finally managed to come in and report.
Yay!
Holy crap. I did not expect this to happen so soon.
Well, that's why I'm the super elite agent.
Yes, Senpai. Senpai, okay. Annaliese, Senpai, he's made a lot of things happen so far. I don't even know how to explain it, but he never goes back on his ninja way.
So are you a ninja border agent? We don't have any of those yet.
No, if I'm anything, I consider myself a wizard.
A wizard border agent?
Yes.
We definitely don't have any of those yet. Well, excellent.
Well, I'm currently inspired by this wizard in Chicago who summoned a zombie T-Rex to fight some necromancers.
Oh, he's the best wizard.
Oh, so you know Dresden.
I do know Dresden.
He is the best wizard. He is my wizard senpai.
He's so cool. You have a very good senpai. He makes some questionable choices sometimes. But he's a good wizard senpai.
How far ahead are you? Because he makes some really bad decisions in the later books, but you know where he's coming from with those.
I'm not that far into the series. I think I'm at book 4. I moved recently, so I put the books someplace, and I don't know where they are. So I have not read any in 6 months. I'm sorry, Dresden.
Well, Renji, do you have any questions for Annaliese for a little bit? So I can step away and grab something to eat quick?
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right.
Alrighty then. So, it's very nice to meet you. Actually, it would be maybe the 3rd time, I guess, but it was on Twitter.
Well, it's nice to meet you vocally.
Yes.
Finally.
Awesome, as it is. One of my questions is that since you've been in, the World Trigger fandom and everything, because I know you do this lettering thing with most of the fans, what originally inspired you to start the whole lettering and the Osamu fan club, the official Osamu fan club?
Well, I was just telling Matt, the lettering thing came from, I had an internship at Viz, and one of the tasks they gave me was lettering a couple pages of Naruto, and I really liked that. So I was able to take a test and get hired as a freelancer through that. And for the club, the original editor, the original English editor, Hope Donovan, and I every time I'd send her a chapter of work, we would go back and forth like, oh, did you see that so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that? Oh, my God. And I liked Osamu from the beginning, but when it got to the...
Oh.
when it got to the battle with Kazuma.
Yes.
When he's like, like he finds out that Jin's given up Fujin for their team. He's just like, like one more battle, please, just once more. He says something like that, and I was just like, oh, Osamu. And I printed out that panel as big as I could. I think I told Matt it was either 6 or 8 pieces of paper, and I taped them all together, and I put them on my stairwell, and I took a picture, and I sent it to Hope, and I said, look, I'm now officially the president of the creepy, like, Osamu fan club or something like that. And she sent me back a sketch of the logo that we would have on our club cards. And I was just like, I have to make this now. And so I did.
Oh,
and I made 3 really bad copies of this card. And I gave one to her, I had one, and then John Bay, Shonen Jump editor, got the other one. And shortly after, another editor was going to go interview Ashihara. And he's like, you better, make real cards so we can give him one and make him join. And that's why we have real cards. And that's how the club happened. Everybody joined.
That is just, oh, dear me. Like, dear you too. That's insane how, everything sort of like glued together. But I understand that. I feel the same way about the whole situation. Like, I really didn't get into World Trigger like most people did, I guess. Like, I was kind of like the conventional watcher of, anime. Like, mainly I read manga. But I just was surfing through to see what I could find. And to be honest, I came upon World Trigger around when the first time it came out, which like late 2014, like somewhere around November.
Yeah.
And I really didn't. It really didn't click with me the first time. I guess it was because like at that moment I was just graduating high school and stuff, and that was my year of exploring multiple things. And really, I was into, the action type of shonen that, always had the BA main character that, always won, never had much hardship in life. He just took things as it went.
Yeah, that's not Osamu.
No, it's not. And then another thing is, as, like, years came by, the funny thing is, it was around this, close to the same time, the end of 2015 is when I really got back into World Trigger. Someone told me like, I should go back and try to watch this anime, like, because it just dawned on me. I'm like, man, like, I didn't think good of it at first because I was cringing at the animations and whatnot.
Yeah. I can't blame you.
I mean, we love you, Toei. Like, I have to say that every time because a lot of people will hark up on the animation and it's not even the art style. They will just hark up on how things weren't always fluid, and there would be so many different mix-ups or small gaps in frames that, didn't really make sense to people who normally watch anime, and even the translations were off at times. But anyhow, my way of getting into not just World Trigger, but also for Samu to be my favorite character as well, because I didn't even like him at first. Like, to me, I was like, oh, he's weak. But then, as it progressed, I started to see more of myself in Osamu, because then I was like, man, I've had those times where, like, there was, no matter how hard I try, I would just keep falling over and over. And even when it was like someone holding their foot over your head while you're, in water trying to swim.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I felt with Osamu. And when you mentioned that battle with Kazama, that's what really got me. Like it hit tears, like, because I got that. Like with other anime and stuff, such as Boku no Hero, yeah, I have a feel with that, but it's not as much as what Osamu, like, because in Boku no Hero, like, even though the main character was given, power of some sort,
Mm.
and it hurts him to a degree, and he still has to work for it. Osamu literally was given nothing. He was not even given a toothpick.
Yeah, and they make a point, I think in volume 10 of the manga, right after the invasion arc, and he's all injured and he's having these like flashbacks that Border rejected him because he didn't have enough to try on.
Yeah, and I'm still surprised. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a plot hole or anything, but I don't know how he actually got, into Border, because when they rejected him, I'm like, so is that the end of the process?
So they rejected him, but then he tried to sneak in, and Jin saved him. And Jin then, I guess, pulled some strings. Because Jin saw something in Osamu, saw that he's the best boy.
Yes, I think there's a connection between Jin and Osamu, that Jin is probably not telling Osamu.
Yeah, I think there's something up there. Like, he sees something in Osamu, for Osamu's future. Something like that. I really like... Sorry, go on.
No, you're fine. That was my bad.
I was gonna segue this, so go on.
Yeah, like, as you were mentioning, it feels as though, like, if Jin pays more attention to Osamu than he does Yuma and Chika and the other characters. And I find that kind of weird. Like, why would he pay more attention to someone who doesn't really have what Yuma has? I mean, Yuma is a neighbor. Like, to me, I was like, Jin should pay more attention to Yuma, because Yuma is a really good fighter. He's an ace. He has a black trigger just like him. And Chika, she's a freaking Treon monster. She has all that Treon. Really, I'm not trying to be mean about Chika, but really for no reason at this point in my mind. But I know she's gonna get better.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could argue that, well, Jin looks after Osamu more because Osamu needs to be looked after more because he doesn't have the skills the others do. But I want to think that it's something else. It's something else.
Yes, I think it's definitely something else, because it's not just that. Like, in my mind, I'm like, he gave up Fujin. Like, the thing that when you see the flashbacks, how hard he was fighting all those other people to keep them from getting it. I'm like, Jesus.
And one of my this is non-Osamu related, but related to him giving up Fujin. The scene, I believe, after he actually gives up Fujin, he goes back to the Tamakoma headquarters, and he's like, hey, everybody, wee, yay, everything's great. And there are, I think, 2 panels where he goes into his room, and he just lays on his bed, and I think he says something like, this is okay, right? Something like that, and it's just like, oh, did he do the right thing? Let me see if I can find it.
He says something like, I'll be okay, the future has begun to move.
Yes, and it's just like, oh, and like his expression is just like it really hurt giving that up.
Yeah, like it looked like he didn't want to do it at all. Like he had that facial expression, like, did I really just do this? Like, this is the one thing that, and I believe that was the one thing in his mind that he believed that he couldn't give up during that time. And seeing as the situation was, and he gave it up anyhow, that's just miraculous.
Yeah, it's I feel like bad stuff will happen to Jin. I feel like he plasters on that happy face a lot, but he knows something's up, you know?
Yeah, I get that vibe from him too, and I try not to think about that line alongside of Jin because it also puts me into the same spot as with the Miwa situation. Like, t- Jin and Miwa are very similar but opposites at the same
Yes,
time.
that's true.
I
Ugh.
wonder if Jin was like Miwa in the past.
Maybe. Oh, I would really love to see more information about Old Border, especially since the manga recently, like right before it went on hiatus, talked about here are all these members that were in original Border. That here are some that died, here are some that left, here are some that went to the main headquarters, and it's just like there's so many stories to be told here.
Yes, I want that backstory so bad. Like that is what we need. We need a OVA or some type. Like right now, even if it's just filler, I would love filler. I enjoy the anime so much that I wouldn't care for filler because to me it's more World Trigger. Like
Yeah,
that's
at
the
this
bottom
point,
line.
just give me more World Trigger, please.
Yeah, now we just need them to go to the hot springs episode.
Whoa. Yeah.
I could just see Kitora being like, "Oh, I will punish any of those guys that come over here. Oh, that Osamu will come over here," and Osamu's like, "No, no, I'm not. Nope, nope." 'Cause he's a good boy. I can totally see Jin and Tachikawa and some of the others trying to get into the girls' bath, but
I see a neighbor attacking the boys' side just randomly, and it's gonna end with Osamu getting blasted through the barrier.
Oh, and him peeking, and then all the women see him, and then Kitora's the first one to see him.
He's just like, "How I knew it! How dare you!" He's like, "No, no, 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 no! There's a good explanation here."
And then you got Karasuma in the background.
He's like, "Oh, he wanted to check in on you girls. I knew it. No, he's lying."
He was like, it was special training for Osamu.
I would actually, if they had a Hot Springs episode, I'd want it to have all the fan service with the ladies and the guys, but then there'd be like a separate little hot spring where it's all Tamakoma too, and they've got they've got like swimsuits on, so it's nothing like scandalous, but just so they can have some quality team time and just Chika and Yuma and Osamu being like, "Oh, we're all buddies," and Hughes being there like, "I hate my life. This is the worst thing. This is awful." I hope Hughes becomes a good member of their team, but I'm not that boy. What?
I said that bites. Like you say, like at this point, I'm really on edge about whether or not to trust him as a part of their team because he just has so many fake hates around him, such as he doesn't like to listen.
Yes, and he has said that he will not listen if he doesn't like the order.
Yeah, and that's a real problem that they're gonna have when it comes to facing most of the upper level teams, especially if they've got to go up against someone like Nino Mia, which is not fair. I probably mentioned this a million times, but he's a griefer, and despite him not wanting to be a griefer, I'm pretty sure he kind of enjoys it to some degree.
Oh, I think so.
Just picking on everybody because whether people know it or like it or not, or probably don't recognize, but Nino Mia is literally he's top A rank material. I'm not talking about lower A rank. I'm talking about top 2, maybe top 3.
Yeah, he is dang good.
Yeah.
I don't like him. Ugh.
Nobody likes him, and that's the problem.
Oh no! So many people like him.
Really?
When I told people, I was like, "Oh, I was like, this guy's a jerk," and then he said something about Osamu, and I was like, Oh, I hate you now.
Yeah.
Earlier, like,
him under the bus.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, like, oh yeah, you hate Miwa, right? And I was like, no, but I used to. I used to really hate Miwa because he's a big jerk. But then Ninomiya came along, and I was like, oh no, Miwa, you're okay because look at this guy. What a jerk.
He's even a bigger jerk than Miwa. See, Ninomiya is a jerk because he can be a jerk.
Yeah. Like, Miwa has excuses like, okay, he hates neighbors. His sister died because of neighbors. Like, okay. Yeah. So what's your reasoning, Ninomiya? Oh, you're just a jerk. I guess you could say his teammate. Oops, sorry, I just freaked out my cats. Stop that. His teammate, like, abandoned him, and he's probably suffering over that. But I don't care. You're a jerk. Stop it.
Yeah, he's really salty about the whole teammate abandoning him thing, and then him getting punished for it.
Yeah, and he just takes it out on everybody else. I do think it's a little messed up that he got punished for it, like that his squad got punished for it. That said, you're still a jerk.
Maybe he had something to do with it, and they just haven't revealed that yet.
Oh, maybe. Ooh, that would be cool.
Maybe he was an honorary agent or member of their team, and that's why they get punished, because he was a member of their team, and their team violated the rules and abandoned him.
Oh, that's even worse.
Ooh, I would be really mad if that happened to me. Still, no excuses, Ninomiya.
Sins of the older brother do not apply to the tutor of the younger sister.
Yes.
That's a kick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I was going to ask another question. What do you think about Kageura?
Oh, Kageura, I think he's really interesting. I really like him. I think his side effect is neat. I think his personality is kind of fun because he's so abrasive. But I think the most interesting thing about him, in my opinion, is the fact that he seemingly doesn't care what rank he is. He just wants to fight strong people.
Yes. That's, he gives me the Osamu vibe. Like, if Osamu maybe had the same side effect as he had to actually feel and understand people with feelings and whatnot.
I could see that. And if Osamu was strong.
I think Osamu is strong. Like, in the way that I view it, like, because the way he comes up with strategies, I know even though other people can come up with slightly better or different strategies, but the way how he's able to manage them and utilize them during those times, it works.
That's true. His strength is not a physical one. It's not a weapon-based one. It's his mind. I just finished working on, I think it was volume 17, where I think it's the first rank war where he's using Spider. And in the wrap up afterwards, when the commentators are kind of like giving their overview, I think it might be Tokieda says, like, most people, if they want to get stronger, like if they want to improve their team, have their team get stronger, they'll be like, oh, here's my ace and he's really strong. I'm going to get strong too. But what Osamu did was, here's my ace, he's really strong. I'm going to make sure he's even stronger.
Yes.
And I was like,
his ace.
I was like, oh, Osamu, you're such a good boy. Because, yeah, he's like, I mean, and you can tell throughout the series, he wants to be strong. He really tries hard. He wants to get those points. But he realizes that he can't. So, he has to find his other strategies. And if that means boosting up Yuma, so be it. That's his job.
You're right on the money about that one. And I believe that it has to deal with that, along with while in the meantime, while he's boosting up Yuma, he's also boosting up himself. Like, he's just trying to do what he can now to suffice until he does get that good.
Yeah. Oh, I love this boy.
That's the man.
Yeah.
What do you think about the squad that's a lookalike of Tomakoma? Was it Katori squad?
Oh, I hate Katori. I hate her so much. The squad itself is fine. I like all the other characters. I hate Katori so much. So we just talked about how Ninomiya's a jerk. Katori takes that to another level.
Allow me to steal from Weekly Manga Recap on this, but
Exactly. Yeah, I hate Katori. She's just a jerk for no reason. Even more so than Ninomiya. Like I said just a couple minutes ago, when Ninomiya was introduced, I was like, oh, Miwa, you're okay. Katori was introduced, so I'm like, you're still a jerk, Ninomiya. I don't hate you as much. Because Katori's just awful. Ugh.
Yeah, I didn't like Katori because of her she was very arrogant. But
Yes.
she really wasn't that good. Like, I was looking at her combat style, and maybe solo-wise she's really good, but on a team, she's not good at all.
Yeah, it's like she doesn't pay attention or care about her teammates, it seems.
And that was her downfall, because even their one teammate said that Rokuro, I think, the one that looks like Osamu, white-haired Osamu, he even called her out up on it, saying that they needed to have teamwork and to be effective together. But she just said that she wouldn't listen to him because he was a lower rank and shooting than she was. I'm like,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like, wow, girl. Oh. Wow.
That made me cringe so hard, because people like that are, like, it gets me so upset. Like, when they're up in a certain position, they believe that they have more say and more control over everything else than you. So pretty much your voice doesn't matter.
Yeah. Even if you say something common sense, like, hey, maybe we should work on as a team on this team battle. Ugh, she's awful.
Oh, it's like...
I don't blame you for not liking Katori. Like, that's actually one of the funniest parts for me to read, and how they did the men so perfectly and nonchalantly when you think about it. Because she thought she was going to win the whole time.
Yeah.
And she might have gotten Osamu, but that didn't matter. Osamu got her.
Yeah. When he got knocked out, I was like, oh no, bailout. And then, yeah, seeing that he put that spider on her neck to, like, basically trap her, I was just like, like, I was at my desk, like, screaming, like, that's my baby.
That's the ultimate way how to diss someone and crush their ego at the same time.
It was such a good move. Oh, beautiful.
Well, trying to think, because there's something I haven't discussed with Renji yet that I would like to announce, because I've been kind of like sorting the mechanics behind it. But we do have a Facebook page. We're also talking about making our own web page so we can do like our own forum stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I just got our Twitter page set up here. But I'm also thinking, for when we have our forum page, maybe we could even have like a D&D style game.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Like, I'm currently working on the mechanics behind it. Like, trying to figure out. I have an idea for like how people can get certain side effects. Once they reach a certain threshold, they get a side effect.
Ooh, I like that.
That is genius.
I'm working on the mechanics behind it right now. I got a buddy that works at a game shop. He said he'd help me play test some of the ideas.
So, pretty much like a World Trigger border game or World Trigger border board game.
Pretty much, something like that. I'm just trying to figure out like what would be the best engine to run. And then we get people from all over, those that are like comfortable. We could even do like live stream games of it, like border matches in the rank wars.
And probably get some. We're probably gonna have to learn to make our own custom cards, like kind of sort of similar to like a World Trigger trading card game, incorporating that into it, maybe.
Definitely, I'll have to think about that, but I think that's something we could probably accomplish. I would just need someone who's good at DMing to help me out with that. And
I might know someone, and I'll have to get back up with you on that on another time because they're sometimes they can be something else.
Well, we won't be heartless. So, like, I'm still working on trying to get this so we can live stream as well, because we're currently not streaming for this conversation.
Yeah, I know, and I was like, man, but this is really good because, like, we're getting to know each other better and being able to cycle through things so we can plan and organize, and that's the main thing that we've had issues with, is planning, organizing, and making things manageable for the audiences and us as well.
Okay. Now, I asked Chris a similar question to kind of close out our last interview. I don't know if we're tying up any of your time at all, Annaliese.
No, don't worry about it.
All right, well, here is a question that we asked him, but I'm going to change the character. What do you think Asta's trigger set would be?
It would be... He would have two. He'd only have two triggers. And it would be Ray Gust and Kogetsu. And he'd have them both, and he'd use the Ray Gust to defend sometimes, but really he's just about physical. So all he'd do is go head first and slash. It would be smart to give him something else, but he's not a smart boy. I don't know if he can handle having more triggers.
What do you have the thruster? What do you have the thruster? Because with, to quote Leo from the Crimson Lions, I shall dub him Black Asta. And Asta was flying. So
you bring up a good point, because he couldn't control that one. So yeah, so he'd have thruster or he'd have grasshopper, but he wouldn't know how to use it properly. So he'd be like, yeah, and he'd be running and like sit down a grasshopper and be like, I can't stop going through the air.
Pinball.
Yeah. They're like, well, at least he's a strong one.
We would sideline him, but his try-on abilities are just so high.
Yeah. Just if only he could use other triggers, Wow.
And then Osamu comes in and just hits him with an asteroid from behind, knocks him out.
Yeah.
That's so messed up, because I'm thinking, like, maybe if he had the Kogetsu Whirlwind, it might be effective, but I thought really hard about it. He wouldn't be able to utilize it.
Yeah.
No, he would take the Kotetsu and throw it into somebody.
Doing.
Who would do that?
Who would do that? Austin would do that.
Well, he He did it with his mana absorption sword in against what's his name, Ladris.
Yeah, with Ladros, yeah.
Ladris. Which actually another good question. What would Noelle's trigger set be?
Oh goodness.
Better
I think
question.
she'd probably be a shooter of some sort.
Yeah, because I don't see her being a sniper.
No, I don't see her being a sniper, and she wouldn't be an attacker. So she'd be a shooter. So she'd probably have Asteroid and Hound. I could see her having a lot of the kind of sneakier ones too. Like she'd probably have Bagworm and Chameleon.
Meteor.
Yeah, Meteor.
No. No. Cringe.
But for her, she'd have too much Tryon, and she wouldn't be able to control it. So like there'd be a lot of friendly fire.
More like
Can
Viper.
you see that? Can you see this team? I don't know who else would be on the team, but just like Noelle and Asta, and they're just like somehow they win matches, but like they always come out worse for wear.
Asta comes out like Yuma did during his training with Konami with just like a burnt up afro on his head. Noelle.
Yes.
Somehow Noelle has like all these like physical like scratches, even though she's in her Tryon body, and everyone's just staring like, how did you do that? Is that your side effect? You get hurt in your Tryon body?
And, she would blame Asta.
She would. She'd be like Katori. Oh, Charmy. Charmy would be their third member. It's how they win matches.
Oh my god, and she wouldn't do anything most of the time, but then like somebody would like, I don't know, is there?
Finral's their operator.
Yes, he's just like freaking out, like, no guys, go over here. What are you doing? No, stop the. Oh, like Charmy would totally do her own thing until like somebody pissed her off, and then she'd just like devastate everybody in one blow.
Or, like, Finral's like, Charmy, you gotta do this. If you do this, I'll give you a bunch of food to eat.
And she's like, alright then. Like, wow, how did this team rise up in the rankings so much? I don't know. This would be such a terrible team. I love it.
Uses a scooter to block team off.
And somehow they go up against Tamakoma 2, and Yuma's just like, oh, so you like the little guy that with the two swords, don't you? And I was like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
And he,
dare you? I don't like him.
And then Yuma's just like, wow, I've heard some really stupid lies in the past, but you tell the stupidest lies.
Oh my goodness.
And that freaks her out so much that it's her first time shooting somebody. She snipes her through the head.
Oh god, please don't say that. Like, I have like so many different visions of what's gonna happen when Chica like shoots somebody, and I think she's gonna go crazy. I think she's gonna go crazy and turn on everybody, and then like, yes, I think that's very possible. And she just has this PTSD meltdown, and nobody's gonna be able to stop her if that happens. Like, she's gonna shut down the whole battle, the whole training facility and everything.
No, Chica, hang in there.
She's gonna be a Amo times 2.
Ooh, that's scary. No, Chica, be okay. It's okay, Chica. They're not real bodies.
Well, weird tangential way they are, but their energy, they can easily be dispersed.
Yeah, they'll get better. Don't worry.
I shot a man.
No.
Chica goes up against the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I shot you. I shot you through the head. I've had worse.
Yeah, she's like.
no, that's not a good idea. Because if she shoots, because just because she shoots him in the head doesn't mean if she shoots someone else that they won't get hurt. It's like, okay, it's good. It's okay to shoot other people on the head.
That's when she becomes a serial killer.
Man.
No, I don't want that to happen. She's a sweet girl.
At least for now. I'm telling you, there's so many openings for her to lose her stuff because she trusts Osamu the whole time. He always built a strategy around her for not shooting people, and I think she'll lose trust in him if she finds out. Because people in Border talk all the time. Just imagine someone's talking over and they hear the plan that Osamu did for Chika to shoot someone, and she hears that and she's like, okay, I don't trust Osamu no more. And then Osamu's mission would have been failed because then she'd be like, okay, so Osamu's mentor, which is her older brother, told him to protect her, and he kind of didn't do that.
Although I hate to say this, but in a weird way, I think she's slowly getting over that. Because if she truly wasn't able to shoot people, she wouldn't be able to hit them with the lead bullets.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the thing that they were talking about. Like, it's that she can't shoot. She doesn't want to shoot. And I think when you force somebody that doesn't want to do something, they're going to snap on you.
Well, we just have to hope that my deal with the genie from Dragon Ball Z, somehow I can transplant the cosmic evil.
Oh, goodness, I hope so.
I've been looking into counter deals, and it's not looking good. Renji, do you have any more questions?
Jeez Louise. Man, I'm trying to get my head around it. I feel like Midori Kawa, like in his fighting style right now, it's very erratic and it doesn't make sense. It's just random.
Well, Annaliese, do you have any questions for us?
Well, I do ask that you have me back when you guys do that filler arc, because now I kind of want to watch it,
Yeah. When we get there, I'll let you and Rollo know.
Right. I don't know. I feel this is dangerous, but I am very curious about this.
That filler arc is pretty much, how should I say this? You know how they go to, knead the grapes? They literally have to put their foot in it, and they have to pounce around.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what this filler arc is going to be headed towards.
Oh my goodness. You're
going to be a first witness to it, though.
We might live stream when we're talking about that one. I should have the live stream up by then.
Awesome. Very awesome. Oh, I am nervously excited.
It's been a while since I've seen him, but I'm nervously excited as well.
I'm in the making of being more nervous than excited.
If it's not as ridiculous as I remember it, I may or may not throw something.
Senpai, I can bet you're gonna throw something. You are definitely gonna throw something. I know it.
Well,
for a fact.
I've got 2 Dragon Balls here.
Oh Lord.
No, I have 2 legitimate Dragon Balls. I pick them up at a convention once a year.
Please, I hope Piccolo. Oh yeah, Piccolo must still be alive somewhere.
It's Dende. Dende's the guardian right now.
Oh man, I forgot all about him.
And I tried asking him to come down and fix Ashihara. That's how I ended up meeting the genie. I'm not allowed to say his name because he'll hurt me.
You mean Junior?
No, not Junior. Junior, we discussed this with Rolla last week. Junior is a bit of a jerk. Remember, he's the one who stole Perry the Platypus's duck face and gave it to Yuma. By the way, Perry the Platypus is the only character in any fiction to legally be allowed to use the duck face. Because he has a bill.
I'm sorry. I'm keep going. I'm just holding it in.
I can't trust Junior. Junior will probably kill me before he saves Ashihara.
That's so ironic too. He'd kill you and say, hold on. He'd kill you and save Ashihara?
Yes, because it's one of his fidget spinner black triggers. It is.
Oh goodness.
It has the ability to heal anyone of any affliction, but it kills somebody in the process.
Oh.
Is there some type of side effect to the person that uses this trigger?
It's Junior. His side effect is he gets no side effects. He bypasses all human sacrifices.
Oh. I'm a little disgusted by that.
Well, it's Junior. What do you expect? He's doing all of this so he can beat Saitama in a One Punch Man style fight.
Oh no, we've got to close this very soon.
Do you have any other questions for us, Annaliese?
Not that I can think of. No.
All right. I'm out of questions. Angie, do you have anything else?
I start with the What do you guys think about there being more so in the Meiden world? Like maybe I know it hasn't been mentioned or like no one says anything about it, but do you think there might be another border facility somewhere else besides Mikado City?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's where the other Tamakoma 2 agents were. They were in Canada.
Yeah, and I would love to see the different borders in the different regions of the world, because we've only seen just that one part. What if it's worse in other places? Because they have to deal with that constantly.
That would be pretty cool to see. Never really thought about that before.
Exactly, because I was thinking, it's just Osamu and them guys, they're just stuck at Mikado City, and what if they get shipped off to a different, place, but up in their world, and some other place is coming, well, another world, an invasion happens, but it doesn't happen in Mikado City.
That'd be really neat.
Exactly.
Ashihara, come back! Get better!
Yes.
We love you!
I'm very concerned about the whole, the Ashihara thing, because he was mentioning something in the back of one of the volume. I believe it was volume 18 or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
And he was mentioning something about he had some sort of a neck injury.
Yeah, his neck was in trouble, having trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really bad thing, especially for, his field of work and whatnot. Yeah. And, because it's been how many months now? 8, 9?
Yeah, I think it's been about 6 months, a little over 6 months.
a little over 6 months, and normally I haven't seen a hiatus that lasts this long. Well, for for a shonen series like this.
Yeah. If it's not Berserk or Hunter x Hunter.
Oh man. Oh, gee. Oh, dear me. I enjoyed those series, but it just doesn't keep me coming back like World Trigger. Like, have you? I was gonna ask another question too. How often do you find yourself rewatching World Trigger, like the anime?
Never.
You don't rewatch it?
No. I cannot watch the anime.
She had a very similar experience to you, only hers was 8 episodes in.
Yeah, I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I'll go reread the manga a couple of times. I reread the manga pretty frequently, but I don't watch the anime anymore.
I understand that 100%. It takes, and here's the thing: you are a real champion. It takes so much patience and time to try to sit there and get through it. But I enjoy the World Trigger facts at the end of it because most of the time it explains a lot of about the world that World Trigger is in, like how everything operates. And I still don't understand the whole factor of, well, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. But it's the factor of the Treon, like how do they necessarily get it? Like, because I understand the neighbors come from the other world and they abduct people and they use people as fuel.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure if people think about it, but that's very, very dark.
Yeah, it is.
And but they use it in like a playful manner. Like I'm pretty sure they try to keep that up on the wraps. And I've heard some people say, like mainly in Reddit and whatnot, but it's like they try to say that World Trigger doesn't have a lot of risk to it, but we've seen risk time and again. Like,
yeah.
People actually die and have died because, like, you lose your Treon body, you can get killed by someone that's attacking you with a weapon using Treon.
Mm-hmm.
And that is kind of like the worst because I wonder that's the reason why they have certain people as A-rank agents to go over to the neighboring world because they don't have a bailout system.
They actually, if I remember the manga, they actually have something similar to a bailout during the second invasion before.
Yes.
Before the rank war world, Samu uses the spider for the first time.
Yes, they do have a semi bailout. So something very similar to a bailout. Galapula, I think, is the country.
Oh, yeah.
has developed it. We don't know if anybody else has it, but they do.
Yeah, and that's interesting because we've only seen like a very small fraction of After Crater. Like I believe that they said that was like, you know, their I would call them like semi elite team.
Hmm.
But because they're supposed to be like one of the superpowers in, the neighborhood, I believe that place is a lot bigger and immersed, and there's people. It's kind of hard for me to try to think of someone worse than Hyrain right now because he was ridiculously overpowered. Ridiculously overpowered. He had, well, we call him the animal guy. Like, I know people like try to make jokes about him being, the pain of World Trigger because of high range, high pain, no tolerance. And he has that eye twitch a few times. Like, like I know you don't watch the anime, but if you would have watched the anime where he has the little eye twitch, I see him because the people in After Crater have those horns, and eventually most of them that have black triggers, they start to go crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if, like, the next time we see him, if he's probably already driven himself insane, like, in a door. Like, by the way, that's the saddest thing I've seen in a long time, how they did him like that. Like, man, you do not treat someone who is a part of your squad like they never existed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's Rain's he's a cruel guy. He at least with Hughes and Adora, he just saw them as pawns and not as party members, I guess. Not as squad mates.
And that's the worst part about it. I mean, I know I'm kind of dragging this on a little bit, and the whole. What do you guys think about seeing triggers with elemental effects? Because I remember reading the manga where it was an OG unit. OG himself, whenever he was using his scorpion, like it had like some type of electricity around it. Like I don't normally see that whenever like someone like Yuma or Jin uses it. And I seen it another time whatever Kasama was using his scorpion, like instead of it being regular, it had like like electricity around it. So what do you guys think about elemental triggers?
I think it'd be cool to do elemental triggers. I don't know how it'd work. I think probably them drawing their scorpions out and having it like having an electric effect is more just an art thing than it actually having an electrical effect. But I think it'd be really cool to do, like, maybe not all elements, but, like, electricity, I think, could work into the weapons really well, you know? I mean, Fujin kind of has, both Fujin and Kugetsu, Whirlwind, already has kind of like a wind-esque attack to it. So.
So, yeah, I think those are going to be more of a specialty trigger that they have to use in the neighbor world.
That'd be really cool.
But, yeah, do you guys have anything else, or should we prepare to trigger off here?
Yeah, I believe we should prepare maybe a trigger off.
All right.
Well, thank you again for coming on, Annaliese. We'll definitely give you another call once we get to the pool episodes.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. It's been really fun.
Thanks for coming too, because like at first I thought I wasn't gonna be able to make it, because I was like, I have to make it. Oh.
Oh no.
All right. Well, I think it's time. We're gonna have to trigger off.
Trigger off.
Trigger off.
Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed our episode. If you want to help us out even better, go ahead and follow us on Twitter. We are at World Trigger Pod on Twitter. We also do have a Facebook page. That is the World Trigger Podcast on Facebook. And if you have any questions, recommendations, suggestions, or anything like that, go ahead and give us an email. Our email is worldtriggerpodcast@yahoo.com. If you want to be part of the game that I just started designing, give us an email again at worldtriggerpodcast@yahoo.com. We are still kind of working out the kinks on that.
and we'll soon be willing to take on some beta testers if they are willing, and we might even live stream this once I get that figured out. So, yep, once again, guys, thanks for listening, and trigger on into the future.